Have you ever had a gift of some sort? Maybe it's an inheritance, or it's a trinket, or it's an old car, or it's maybe a little cash you had laying around, and you thought to yourself, "I want to give that to someone." And as you went through the back of your mind to think about who is it that I want to give it to you, really what you're doing is qualifying who's going to get what you have to give. Now, it may be the extra hours in your day. It may be the extra money in your bank account. It may be the extra meal on your kitchen table, the extra seat at Thanksgiving dinner. But the person that you want to give that to, you're kind of qualifying to make sure that if you're going to give it to them, it's going to benefit them and they're going to make good use of it. Right? I mean, surely you don't just give willy-nilly and not even think about what the outcome will be. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. I know often we see panhandlers at the street corners, especially in big cities, holding a sign that says, "We'll work for food." Many of them, not all of them, many of them, if you offer them work to do, they don't really want to do the work. Why? Because most people will pull up and just hand them money, $5, $10, $20, and they'll make $300 or $400 in a day, which, let's see, if it's an 8-hour work day, $8 an hour times, or 8 hours times $10 now, that's $80 a day. Times 20, that's $160 a day. So these people are making $40 an hour standing at the street corner doing no work. Why would they work? If you're going to qualify who you give money to at Christmas time, or who's going to receive your annual nonprofit or charity donation, or who's going to sit at your table for your board meeting or for your Thanksgiving dinner, then wouldn't you also want to qualify how that money is going to be redistributed or utilized or spent? I mean, $300 or $400 a day in free donations with no accountability, and alcohol, maybe drugs, maybe. Does it matter to you? Do you even care? Well, let me flip that question just a little bit and ask you: are you a river or are you a reservoir? John Maxwell says it all the time. Be a river, not a reservoir. It's not yours to gather up, to amass, to collect, whether it's money or it's attention or it's fame or it's knowledge or it's wisdom. It's not your position. It's not your purpose in life to just collect as much of it as you can and hold on to it. That's a reservoir. That's called hoarding. But to gather together as much knowledge, wisdom, information, experience, financial ability, job opportunity that you possibly can, and then make them available to other people. Now, I'm not a big fan of the idea of redistribution, i.e. the government or some other entity forcing those who have earned a lot of money to give it away by compunction, where you're told you must do it like this. You have to give it to that person. You have to redistribute this way. I'm not a fan of that at all. But I do believe that those who have been given a lot of talent, a lot of ability, a lot of wisdom, a lot of natural talent, like basketball players, baseball players. I saw recently that a baseball player had donated his $18 million home to an orphanage. Perfect. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Not because the government told him he had to, not because anybody twisted his arm, not because the IRS took it away from him, but out of the kindness of his heart. A man whose abilities, whose talent, whose gift made a way for him to earn a lot of money, turned that around and gave a lot to somebody else. That's a river. We know those, though, that collect a lot of money. They siphon a lot of money. They manipulate a lot of money. Once it's in their account, it's staying there. It's going to make them richer and richer, and maybe even their family. It might even manipulate some politics, but they're not going to help the poor with it. They're not going to help even their neighbor with it. It's theirs. They own it. They're keeping it. If we as individuals can change our attitude and our mindset about what we gather, what we amass versus what we share, then we as individuals can begin to meet the needs of those who have needs. Not only will we feel better about ourselves, but the quality of life of people around us will skyrocket as well. That's my challenge to you as a leader. Be a river, not a reservoir. Don't collect and amass and gather and hoard. Be willing to collect for the purpose of sharing. To get a little extra so you can give some away. Time, talent, treasure, and attention, not just your pocketbook. Don't think you can just write a check and be absolved of all other responsibility. Get involved in society. Give from the best of what you have. That's a great leader. Be a river, not a reservoir. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.